Welcome to the EthanLive podcast. Back from a short hiatus. It's been a little bit since we've been on.
Yeah, yeah.
The link to, if anyone wants to join, come on, ask a question, make a comment, whatever you like. I put the link on Ethan's page, and I made it the first comment. Should be the first comment in these comments section here.
Perfect.
So hopefully that works for everyone. Today, I posted it earlier today, but maybe I'll bring up some different ones. Today is, well, we'll bypass that one. That's not appropriate
Go.
for the
Okay.
Education Technology Day.
Okay.
We do have Elvis Festival Porth Call. You know what a Porth Call is?
No, I was just going to ask you.
I'm not sure what the definition of Porth Call is.
I
Go
don't
with your
either.
gut day, Energize Day, International Day of Sign Languages, uh,
Oh,
National Dogs and Politics Day.
well,
Uh,
there you go. That's Ethan's day. What other dogs in Winnie, I guess the governor's dog. Does that count?
wasn't there? Yeah, yes. And wasn't there a dog somewhere in the United States that was elected mayor somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
remember
Yeah,
that.
I think you're right. Okay.
So Porth Call it's a place, a seaside
Oh, okay.
town and resort in South Wales.
Ah, okay. And
So
they get
in
a
South
whole
Wales,
day.
they have an elk
Day.
festival.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just fly right over.
Yeah, we'll just pop right on in.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they'll be
So
glad
today
to.
we wanted to give everybody some updates on a few different things. Probably have some stories to wrap up. Um, we attended a case yesterday in Jefferson County, and that was Tiffany Arnold. Is that her first name?
Yes, Tiffany. Uh-huh.
Tiffany Arnold. She's been indicted by the grand jury because that was over in circuit court. Uh,
Right.
she
Right.
had to keep people up to speed. She had a was what's the story? She was renting that place that she was living at, and
Yeah.
they went. They went to go into the place after she had left, and she had abandoned, and there
Right.
were
20.
20 dead
Mm-hmm.
cats inside this place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was there, asked for it's going to another date, which was, oh, shoot, I didn't write that down on this piece of paper. Did you write that one down?
No, I don't think I did either.
Uh,
I was so
I think it
interested.
was December the 4th or something.
Yeah, it was in
We've,
December.
we've got
Yeah.
a little bit of time. She was asking for a little bit of leniency because she was having trouble getting her kids to school.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
So follow that case
But
in
you know what
Jefferson
made me
County.
think of after that, Jeff? After I left the courtroom and we were hearing all the horrific things she did to the animals, and then I'm thinking, oh my, there are children in that home too.
Yeah, not to, and we will say allegedly. She's not been found guilty
Yes.
yet. So we want to make
Right.
sure to say allegedly, but unfortunately, it's
Yes.
sort of the things we run into
Oh
is
yeah. Hmm.
kids being involved in some kind
Yeah.
of an animal case, domestic violence, child abuse. But it is a perfect example of, um, there was, and I want to make sure I get most of these most of these facts right. uh,
Okay.
we tried to pass a law in Kentucky that was sort of called a link program, something similar to that, where the
Hmm.
AC officers could report child abuse if they suspected it, or
Uh-huh.
people investigating child support or child abuse could report animal abuse if
More
they
abuse.
suspected it. But there's no official mechanism in Kentucky to do that.
Hmm.
Uh, they
Sad.
they have implemented something like that in Jefferson County, and so in Jefferson County they've got a local ordinance that allows them to do that. But it really needs to be something that across the state that people uh, could use, and
Definitely.
I guess basically, the only time it would come in without that official sort of mechanism through the legislation, you just got to like reach out on your own or see someone uh, going through the hallway or something. Hey, Stephen
Yeah.
Camarillo says hello. Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
Oh,
Stephen,
wow.
thinking,
Hey.
Stephen, I was thinking about you the other day. when I was thinking about, we do so many just strictly sort of animal things that to get
Uh-huh.
some other good stories. I know we were going to have Stephanie Horseman come on and tell a little bit about her story from Boone County. We want to have Dee Robinson on. But Stephen, anytime you want to come on, man, we'll talk
Yeah.
about your time as a corrections officer in the wonderful state of California and talk about stories.
Uh-huh.
Stephen has some really like some stories that people would think were very, very interesting. So thanks for
He
joining,
needs to come
Stephen.
on.
He
Yeah.
should, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so where are we at? So anyway,
With
Jefferson
the
County has
link.
that nice link program that
Yeah.
allows people to do that. So that's a wonderful, good thing. Um, we very
Oh,
cool thing. Let's jump to a very cool thing.
yeah.
I believe, unless someone could tell me different, we filed a motion um, last week in court to be assigned to be the court appointed animal advocate in Demetrius Hebert's case in Jefferson County. Um,
Yes, you did. Mm-hmm.
and he was the person that got into a domestic dispute, picked up the puppy, slammed the puppy through the glass table.
Right.
The puppy ultimately died.
Yes.
Um, and so we filed this motion. And
Mm-hmm.
interesting, we go to circuit court to file the motion, and the person who was at the window, who follows Ethan, was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I
She
don't,
knew
I don't,
Ethan.
I don't really know what to do with this, but I'm going to
No.
file it. And
No.
we were assigned a hearing, and
Uh-huh.
what I believe was the first time in the state of Kentucky
Yes.
there was a motion that was heard for
Mm-hmm.
a person to be assigned to be a court appointed animal advocate.
Yes.
I think it
Everybody,
was.
they would have been so proud of to see you yesterday. I said, you just keep finding new ways to advocate for those victims, and to see you up in front of at the judge speaking was just incredible.
It
And
was.
his name was heard again. So,
Yes, and it was important to get that on record. But
uh-huh.
even more surprising, uh,
Yeah.
the judge was ready to approve it.
Yes, she was.
She said, I am ready to sign off on this," and it was brought up in court that
Mm-hmm.
Demetrius Hebert last week. The reason he was in court last week was because he could not afford his personal attorney anymore. So his attorney was stepping down, and they had to assign a public defender. And the public defender who was representing him had not been uh, given
Surprised.
this motion,
Everything.
and
Yeah.
so wasn't there to be able to dispute it. So
Mm-hmm.
it will be held over, we believe, until the next appearance for Demetrius. Um, in the middle of that, I'm hoping to reach out to the person from the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office that is actually handling that case, because I don't believe
Yeah.
that yesterday in court. Uh, just so he knows where we're coming from. This is not adversary. It's not trying to
Uh,
cause any conflict. This is strictly because we've run into so many cases around the state where people don't, it's not being adjudicated the same, and people don't understand the little intricacies and the
uh-huh.
subtleties of this law and what to add in and what not to add in, and other laws that it sort of ties into, because it's so new.
Mm-hmm.
And all this is to make sure that uh, when it comes in this particular case, this defendant, this animal died.
Yes.
So what I hope to bring up to Mr. Reinhardt, what I hope to be assigned as this court appointed animal advocate is a couple of different things. Um, he needs to be referred to he needs to be put into violent offender status. The animal victim died in this particular case. And
Definitely.
then that would mean he's not eligible for diversion. And that means
Uh-huh.
whatever sentence he gets, he's got to serve 85% of it.
Right.
Bottom
Right.
line, that needs to happen. We may need to make sure that he goes on to in Jefferson County, they have an animal uh, abuse registry
Registry.
that
Hmm.
goes to, as far as I know, only goes to Louisville Metro Animal, but it is a start.
Yeah.
He needs to go on that. Can't have animals, ever have animals. and he needs to
Yeah,
serve time. I thought that was very cool. I
it
was
was
very,
really.
I thought it went very well.
It did. It was kind of uncharted territory. We were sitting in the courtroom, and Jeff, we didn't know whether they would call the case or exactly how it would go. But when the judge picked up that folder and immediately said something about the motion, and Jeff stood up and she was like, "Well, who's here to speak about this motion?"
Well,
Jeff, me.
the, the two attorneys looked at each other like, "Well, what's going on?" I was like, "Hey, over
Yeah,
here, I got you."
yeah,
Uh, so it really
but
went really well, and
it did.
it needed to go on the record. Um,
Yes, it's a first,
so
it's a step, it's another step. Because, especially in Jefferson County, don't you think, Jeff? So many of them are getting diversion in Jefferson County. The ones we've been
frustrating,
involved with just
frustrating,
keep getting diversion.
and
So,
to try to try to play both sides of the coin.
yeah.
If it is their first felony and the animal victim was not seriously injured or killed,
Hmm.
by Kentucky statute, they are eligible for diversion.
Right.
Our point is if the animal's not seriously injured or killed and you don't go into violent offender status, it's your first felony. You're eligible for diversion. That's fine as long as you plead guilty to the felony.
Yes.
At
So
that
it's
point, that's
right.
okay. The animal
Right.
is okay. We've got the
Hmm.
animal help. We've got the animal out of the home, finding another home for the animal. That's number one, the most important. Number two, you can't have animals anymore. And if you are eligible for diversion, it just needs, you don't plead, you negotiate on the punishment side in that case,
Yes. Not
and
on them.
you get the charge.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
why Tiffany Arnold's case is important because they're dead. There's that many dead animals. So hopefully that one she will not get diversion on that one. So
so
we'll
frustrating.
see. Yeah.
So that was our motion that we made,
Yeah.
and that animal's name is Cash. That was the little
Correct.
puppy that was killed, Cash with a K.
Yeah.
We want to
Right.
make sure we get that in there because
Mhm.
that's the justice that needs to happen. Um,
Exactly. And you filed the other motion, and I looked to see that was September the 10th on Gmail Tribble in Christian County.
yeah.
So
So the
hopefully,
other motion we have filed, yes,
yeah.
you are correct. The other motion we have filed in Kentucky to be assigned as a court-appointed animal advocate is for Gmail Tribble.
Uh-huh.
Um, his next, so Gmail is these people. Gmail is the guy who had the dog who peed on his carpet.
Right.
And so he took the dog out in the front and started beating the dog so severely
Hmm.
that the neighbor started recording and called the ACO officer.
Yes. So yeah, it's on video. So,
And there's a child that's involved in that witnessed this particular
which is
situation, and there's some other extenuating circumstances with the
hmm
child that we won't get into because that's all sort of privacy, but it's information that we have gotten from firsthand, as
hmm
close as you can get,
yes.
that are troubling. Mr. Gmail Tribble, last I heard, had fled the state. I shouldn't say fled. That's probably
It's
implies too
not,
much. He has
it's not
left the
in
state.
the state. Right? Yes.
He's left. He's moved out of the state.
And we don't know if he'll show up for court. So that'll
We
be
don't know if
another.
we don't know if he'll show up. And Debbie called Christian to make sure that 10/1 date, October the 1st date, is still on, and asked if they had any motion hours like they do in Jefferson, and
Right.
he indicated no.
No, he said it would be at the arraignment. So,
So we go to the arraignment, hopefully to get in front of a judge again,
yes.
to be able to speak as to why it's important um, for
But,
this for this particular case. Now, this is one of the dog. He had two dogs.
mhm,
Both this dog, his name is Bubba. Bubba is still alive. Bubba has gotten past his injuries
mhm,
and is now in another home. This is a case where um, you probably you probably have a hard time putting him into the violent offender status.
Yeah,
Uh,
sadly.
but this is one of those ones that I'd love to sit down with that Commonwealth attorney
Uh,
to have a conversation about the punishment. He needs to plead guilty to the. It won't surprise me. I mean, I've seen this dude and we've seen this dude in court. It won't surprise me if he says he wants
he
a
doesn't.
trial.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to plead to anything. But if he
No.
pleads guilty, this is one that it was so like there needs to be some time associated with it. I don't know whether you want to put 30 days on him, 60 days
But
on him,
something. Yeah.
something. There should be some time associated with this if
Yeah.
he's going to plead to it, because it was such a violent attack, and they
Yeah.
have the video.
Hmm.
Um,
And it's, I mean, surprising that the dog happened to survive, so again, we're using whether the dog died or not to determine whether it was a victim. No, it's a victim. So
it is,
again,
yeah, it's definitely a victim, and I believe that that I had a very nice conversation with a late year law student today.
okay.
And we talked about the violent offender status and how it says victim and how this is an animal victim and how the Kentucky legislature and the lawmakers, and if there's not, some of the, you got to start going down the line. And if there's not a past precedent or case study about
Hmm.
someone going to violent offender status for seriously injuring or killing this animal victim, and I think those are the two terms we need to make sure we start saying together. Um, you go to uh, the intent of the legislature, the intent of the statute. What did the
Uh-huh.
lawmakers mean when they were passing this through? And I think it's very obvious just for the simple fact that they passed an animal felony statute in Kentucky. They intended that there was an animal victim there. And
Exactly.
and uh, hey Tara, thanks for tuning in. And Tara makes the point here: the link between domestic violence, child abuse, and animal
Exactly.
abuse is so high. You know,
Uh-huh.
if you want to, if you're going to attack a dog like that,
Yes.
that's a victim. That's an animal victim, and you want to let them off. What's the saying? The blood's on your hands. Like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
person is going to hurt a person, a kid,
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
partner, somebody. Anyway, I'm getting on the soapbox, but that
No,
so
that's
Gmail
okay.
Tribble is coming. Gmail Tribble is coming. That's probably why they don't want me to talk in court. They're like, okay, stop.
No, no. Well, you know what though, Jeff? I forgot to, we forgot, backing up a little bit back to Jefferson County, that we had that interesting conversation with the attorney, the prosecuting attorney, when we
Yeah.
went in
Hmm.
to the
Yeah.
room and had the long conversation too. And he was willing to listen to you talk about some of those finer points of the law. So that
Yeah.
was
That
a very
was
good
that.
conversation too.
Yeah. So that was Dimitri. That was what that was last week. That was
Yeah.
Demetrius's um, date last week where he needed a new attorney.
Yes.
Um, and
Well,
then we went down and filed that motion. Then
yeah. Uh-huh. So yeah,
it's
good
so
conversations
it's
happen.
I'm hoping that um, we just I was I walked away from that motion very encouraged, uh,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
know all judges will be different, but
The
if you are
statement
willing to assign,
spoken.
if there is an established practice that you're going to
Uh,
assign an advocate for a juvenile case, uh, as I mentioned in the motion in the court, Kentucky might not have an established court appointed animal advocacy program, but judges have the ability to
yes.
assign an advocate in any case
Uh-huh.
across the country, not just Kentucky, across the country. They can assign an advocate in any case they want to, animal
Yeah.
case, people case, child, whatever they want to do. They have the ability and the right to do that. And
Hmm.
so we need someone to do that. Jefferson County would be a great place to start because there are
Yeah.
so many things that what's the best way to say it? You don't hear about. There's
No,
so
we
many
don't.
things that try to
Yeah.
get adjudicated before it
Yeah, gets out. Yeah.
So
Well, and the judge mentioned that she had spoken with another judge. So
mhm.
she obviously had conferred with somebody else. And like you said, she was willing to sign off on it yesterday.
Yeah,
So
she was ready to roll. So
she was ready.
hopefully the we know, well, we don't know. I won't say we know. We have not met that judge down in Christian County, but we've been in his
Yeah.
courtroom several times.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
and and kind of off that just to try to be a little bit funny. As long as I come in with clean shoes, I think I'll be pretty good in
Yeah.
front of.
Yeah.
He
Clean shoes.
does not
Clean
want his
shoes.
he does
No,
not want his
no
car
hats,
stuff.
no hats in some counties, no purses in some counties. No.
And
You
I
know,
really like him. He goes out of his way to each person that comes up there, ask
yes, he
them how they're
did.
doing, how their day is going. Uh,
Right.
anyway, but he does not want his carpet messed up.
No,
They
he does.
now and they have a really nice judicial center in Christian
Yes,
County.
they do.
It
Yes,
is
they do.
really nice.
Right.
They've done a
Yeah.
good job
And you
there.
talk about interesting judges. I thought the judge in Meade County. This is a
Oh my
segue.
goodness, yes. So we go
That
to Meade
judge,
County for
yeah, or
oh my
Jason
gosh,
Basham. Yeah.
yes, Jason Basham for Laney,
Uh-huh.
the
Yes.
dog that had the collar that was so embedded in his neck
Uh-huh.
uh, that it's needed quite a few
Seven,
surgeries. The last I heard
yeah.
was like 7 surgeries. It's needed to be
Yeah, that's what I had read too. Yeah.
and so he was going to take a plea.
Uh-huh.
And interestingly, so we sit there for quite a while, but and let me just I will say this, and I guess we haven't been on since Meade County, but the judge's name in Meade County was Bruce Butler.
Yes, Judge Butler.
I'm
Hmm.
all about that dude. We need
Yeah.
more Bruce Butlers.
Yes.
He got up there, and
Yes.
number one,
It was a
he
no
started on
nonsense.
time, and he
Yeah.
was calling the next case up before the other one walked off. And
Right.
an
In
attorney walked
order.
up in order. And
Yeah.
the other thing, good job, Meade County. They even list on there the person, the case number, and what number they're going to be called that day.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
can go right down the list.
On their
Good
docket.
for Mr. Butler, unless you're an attorney that doesn't have your stuff together.
Yeah. He's a no nonsense judge. That's for
No,
sure.
that attorney got up there and he was like, Judge, I'm sorry. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need that. And he said, I'm tired of hearing I'm sorry. I've heard I'm sorry for over a year. Your
Right.
client is right over there. You
Uh-huh.
go talk to him, and I'm putting you at the bottom of the list.
Yes. He
And I
did
was like,
that on several people.
I like this dude. And
Yeah.
so he was very no nonsense, very
Yeah.
fair, very no nonsense. We did see quite a bit of diversion, but that was
Yes.
probably, well, it wasn't probably, it had to be those people's first felonies.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
but when Jason Basham, when his case came up,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
there was going to be a plea, and so and one of the assistant prosecutors had come and talked to us while we were sitting in court. So
Mm-hmm.
that was very nice. We found out
Yeah.
there was going to be a plea. We were disappointed about that. He gets called, and the prosecutor says, I got these pictures that people are sending me,
Mm-hmm.
and they're telling me that the defendant is around animals and they're taking pictures of it, and that violates what he was supposed to, this probation or this period until the sentencing and this thing is adjudicated. And the
Uh-huh.
judge, well, what do you want? What do you want to do with them? And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. They're sending them to me. What do you want to do with them? And
No,
the judge says, do you want to call some of these people as witnesses and subpoena them? And the
uh-huh.
guy says, I guess so, because he's not allowed to be around animals.
Yes. So
But he was going to live at his mom's. So he was saying that he was not living at that place anymore. He was living at his mom's. So I said, okay, we've seen this in a couple other places. I need to talk to that guy and make sure that he
yes.
knows in other cases in Kentucky, the judge has made sure that it
Mm,
doesn't matter whether it's your animal or not. You can't live in a home with animals. But
correct.
we'd already been there a little over an hour. There still looked like there was an hour left. I really wanted to talk to this guy, and he stands up to take a break to walk out.
Yes, he does.
And I'm like, I got it. Boom, right out behind him.
Out the door, Jeff and Ethan, and then yes, we.
So I go out the door, and he doesn't really want to talk to me at first. I'm sure he has no idea
No,
who I am,
yeah,
and I'm sure he
no.
thinks who's this crazy person following me?
Yeah, he
And
didn't really want to
I
talk.
think he
No.
thinks I was trying to get some legal advice or something. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I tell him
Uh-huh.
who I am and what we're doing, and tell him that there are other cases. You know, there's some precedent for the judge,
Uh-huh.
the prosecutor to say you can't live in it. So we talked to a very nice guy, and then he says, and you know, we tell him about Ethan's Law, and this is Ethan, and
Because he didn't know. He did not know
he
who
did
Ethan
not know.
was.
No, and
No.
as Tara points out, Gamez is a perfect example of that. It wasn't put into the plea agreement because the
Yes.
prosecutor didn't know that
Uh-huh.
you need to write in there that that person can't live in a home with animals. And so Gamez
Yeah.
is now
That
living in
was
a home
true
with her
about it.
mom's
Yeah.
animals, posting on
Uh-huh.
social media with anyway. She's one of the ones you got to do this for. So
Yes.
we talked to him, very nice guy, and then he says, "You know, I'd like to introduce you to the judge."
And we're like,
And
the
I'm like,
judge that stays right
I
on
don't think
schedule.
so. And he's like, no,
No.
let's. I'd like to come back in, and in between cases, I'll introduce you to the judge. And I said, I don't want to make him mad. Like
Yeah.
he seems very like he wants to
Yes.
get
He
this
was
done.
very
And he looks at me
influential.
and he says, "Oh, it'll be fun."
Yeah. He did.
And I'm like,
For
okay.
whom?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to pass it up. So we go back in
Oh
there. We're
no.
sitting in court,
No.
and sure enough, one case ends, and he says,
Uh-huh.
"Judge, can I approach the bench?" And he goes up there, and anytime an attorney goes to talk to the judge, they play static over the microphone, so you
Yeah.
can't hear that conversation. It's private,
Right.
and he's
And
up
it's
there
a
for much
civil.
longer than I thought
Yeah.
he should be. And
Yeah.
so
I was
we
concerned.
we're both watching the judge's face during this
Yeah.
whole
Trying
interaction.
to read his reaction.
And I
Yeah.
look at Debbie
Yeah.
and I'm like, this might be one of the more weirder things. And
Yeah. That's pretty
static
strange.
goes off, and the prosecutor says, "Judge, I'd like to
Yeah.
introduce you to Jeff and Ethan." So we walk
Yes.
up there and just to say hello, and I shake the judge's hand. And what two funny things that happened. No, well, number one, he's very happy to see us.
Yes.
He said, "Thank you for all you're doing." I
Uh-huh.
thanked him for his service to the Commonwealth and how he ran his courtroom. Two things I thought were funny was anytime that an attorney and a defendant were up there, the bailiff would physically take the defendant and put him where he was supposed to be, which was
Right.
in that courtroom to the left of the attorney. And
Yes.
so as the Commonwealth attorney was standing there, I had just walked up there to introduce myself to the judge, and I shook his hand and was talking to him, and he took me and put me on the other side.
Sad.
The second thing that was funny was I didn't find out till later that Debbie was trying to take a picture and
I
got
need
in a bunch
I
of
needed
trouble.
Tara's credentials. Tara, where I need your credentials.
You go to take a picture, and the girl's like, nope,
No,
put the camera
no,
down.
no. They were like, and I'm like, oh, like you said, beg forgiveness later. So I'm
Yes,
like, I'm
yeah.
so sorry, but I was just trying to get a quick picture. So, yeah, I need those credentials from Tara. So,
That trip to Meade County was good. I
yes,
really don't know what's gonna happen with that because uh, so it wasn't settled. We really thought it was gonna be settled that day,
no, no, it was
and
not. And he's up because he also has another case on flagrant non-support. So they're going to kind of combine the two into one, the next appearance. So,
shocking. Yeah.
yeah,
So it appeared when we left there that he's got another date, and from
yes.
what I could read, they were going to try to subpoena a couple of these people that took pictures to
Uh-huh.
determine when the pictures were taken.
Not me. Not me. Not me.
Was it before these charges or after these charges? So, but anyway,
Yeah.
Judge Bruce Butler.
Yes.
I like.
He,
We need more of those dudes. Like hold
yeah,
people accountable.
it was an interesting day. Yes. So,
Like you can come in and do all your niceties you want, but it's not gonna with him. It's not gonna get past the point that
no.
either doing this or not. And so, here's another funny one. Another gentleman came in who was being very kind, but also didn't have his paperwork right. And he
Uh-huh.
looked at this was a big mistake. He looked at the clerk. So you got the judge, you got the secretary, and the clerk right there. He looked at the
Right.
clerk and said, "Can
Yes.
you make me some copies?"
Oh,
That's
that was
not the right thing to say.
not to.
He said, "Don't even talk to my clerk, much less ask her for the copies
Yeah.
that you should have made before
They
you go."
are working for me. They're not working for you.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was an animated courtroom. How about
Yeah,
that?
it's very interesting.
Yeah, it
Let's see.
was. So
There some a couple other updates. We do have a date. This is another one we need to get to Scott County because this is one I'd like to file a
yes,
motion for.
yeah,
We have a date
finally,
Chesney
yeah.
Taylor and
Uh-huh.
Christian Barnett, which
Yes,
is
October the 3rd.
October the 3rd. Yes, and
Yes,
that's
so that's
for Phoenix Blue.
yes, and I
Uh,
know people remember that one. It's just been so long, but it took forever for them to get the grand jury called for some reason in Scott County. I don't know what the problem was. So,
yeah, so that
yeah,
that was the dog that was rehomed. It's about a
yes,
year and a half old, weighed a little over 100 pounds, rehomed to Chesney Taylor, Christian Barnett, and within 3 months, the dog weighed about 50 pounds less
yeah,
and was in such horrible condition that the dog passed away.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is another one that, uh, uh, that's where you have to. This is an interesting one because as part of the torture statute, as part of
Mhm.
Ethan's law, there is basically physical abuse and
Correct.
physical infirmity.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I could be completely wrong, speaking out of turn here. I don't think there's any sign or evidence of physical abuse in this
Mm.
case. There's physical infirmity. They
Harmony.
obviously withdrew water, food. They starved this dog to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you factor in uh, what the dog went through, and
Right.
if you look up what happens to the body when a body is being starved to death,
Start death.
that's torture. That's
Yes.
horrific.
Yeah.
Can you put them in a violent offender status? I mean, if I was an attorney, I would argue it. I don't know that I would.
Definitely.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you win or not, but these are people again. Uh, uh, let's put the violent offender status for them to the side for a moment. These are people that intentionally starved this dog,
Hmm.
tortured this dog, not once, not twice. This is over and
Over
over
a period of,
repeatedly for a
yes,
period of time.
exactly.
This wasn't one decision.
Right.
I spaced and I did this horrible thing, which is bad.
Uh-huh.
This is
Right.
people that did this over and over and over again.
Hmm.
This is if you want to, I would make the argument this is a violent offender. If that wasn't the argument and you set that to the side, these are people that you don't that need to plead guilty to the felony and they need time. Like
Yes.
that is where the punishment is. I'm gonna if the if it's a 5 year felony, I'm gonna say, okay, you can plead to felony torture for 4 years,
Uh-huh.
3 years. Like there's time that needs to be
Research.
associated with this particular case in some way, one way or another.
I
And
agree.
so we before October the 3rd, uh,
Yeah.
probably next week, we need to buzz down to Scott County, even if
Really.
it's just to file a motion.
Right.
But
Well,
anyway, I know a lot of people have really followed that case.
yes. And there's one right along that same thought pattern here. I wanted to bring up the Campbell's case in
Yeah.
because there was Denisha and Latia. Well, Latia's been exonerated from any of the charges, but Denisha, the dog's name was Pluto, by the way. I just found that out. Uh, this dog was caged. Now that she's going to be sentenced on Halloween. She
So
had
let me back this up. Just
okay.
so I'm following you because you had told me you got some new information on the Campbells, and so this is the first time I'm hearing this too. So this
Yes,
was the mother daughter that was we sort of
right.
it was always easy
Came
to say
to
they were the
court
Campbells,
together. Yes, and they were
but it's the
told they
mother
need.
daughter, and so which one of them has been exonerated, the mother or the daughter?
I'm not sure which one
So
is.
one of them is taking
Mm,
the blame for the both of them.
sounds like it. But she has pled guilty to waive any other future proceedings. I'm kind of concerned that maybe that means because she was offered a plea deal. Don't know. But
So we don't know if
just
she's
so
pleading guilty to torture or second
she
degree.
is, yes. Well, they say she's pleading guilty to torture.
Okay.
Pluto was caged, severely emaciated. said they said he was so emaciated that of course the muscles had all atrophied, and this was over several weeks before, of course, the dog died. And it was a 2-year-old golden doodle, but the dog's name was Pluto. So wanted to get that in there, that sentencing. Yes, she has pled guilty, but they've had several court appearances.
And what does I was lost in my mind about how ridiculous that is. What did you tell me the date is? The next date for the
Halloween, she's being sentenced on 10/31.
shocker.
Yeah,
Um,
is in Fayette County. So anybody in Fayette County that's has followed that case, that's what's going on. So
our speaking of Fayette, I didn't think I was going to I didn't have this on my paper to bring this up, but our guy Woodford Armitage. What is his next date?
oh, let's see. He's got October the 20th. And it's no 29th. I'm sorry. Pre-trial again.
So Woodford Armitage back to pretrial October 29th, but it's still showing second degree animal cruelty, right?
Yes, those charges were
Michelle
they
just
were
on here
changed.
to say that she believes the daughter's portion is being dismissed.
Okay. I was kind of thinking that was correct, but I didn't want to say it and be incorrect. So yeah. But I just wanted to get the dog's name out there. So
Pluto, yeah. So the
mhm.
mom's taking the heat.
Yeah. Hmm. But
Okay. All right. So
it's
we got Woodford Armitage back on the 29th. That's a pretrial. We need to, um, I don't like to, I don't like putting information out that I don't know all information. And I don't like necessarily, unless it just calls for it, calling people out. I have called Fayette County
hmm
and asked, I don't know how many times, for the person that is handling this Woodford Armitage case to call me.
uh-huh. And no response.
Nothing.
I know.
I got
Cricket.
one. I'll take that back. Way back, I got one phone call. As soon as it was appeared that it was going to be second degree animal cruelty, before we went down there and met Woodford Armitage, I called
Yes.
in. No response. We showed up that day, and I
Uh-huh.
felt like this dude just needs some help. Since then, I've called 2 or 3 other times because apparently he told us he could beat the valuation.
And he did.
Anyway, I have called, and I'm trying to. The guy's name is escaping me right now, but there's the guy that is handling that. As a matter of fact, the guy that is handling, I have called the office, and the guy that's handling the case out of the county attorney's office, I've left him several messages, and I've left the county attorney several messages, and neither one of them have called me back.
Have returned. Yeah.
So that'll be a conversation to go back down there and find out why they feel like this is a second degree animal cruelty case. I don't understand.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Especially the way that, what the officer wrote. I mean, it's written there what he witnessed by the police officers. So
Yeah. This in Mercer County, this Amanda Kuntz. Do we know if they ever served her warrant for her? Do we know if she's
no,
in jail?
she's still nope. The
Still on the line?
warrant. Yep, yep. And it's going to be a big day in Mercer County, October the 8th, because they're all on the docket. I'm like, wow, they just put them all on the same day. Fulmer, Hardin, Nichols, Ransdale. Of course, several of them, several of those are all animal cruelty,
Animal
but
abuse
they're all on there for October the
in
8th.
Mercer County, and
Yeah.
again, the folks in Mercer County, so nice every time we show up there.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see here. Couple
We got a
things.
couple of new cases.
Throw out those new ones real quick before we touch
Yeah,
on.
okay.
We got this
There's
Travis
Travis
guy.
Wheeler, yeah,
Mhm.
in Boyle. He's got a court appearance 10/15. He left two cats in the car for 3.5 hours. He claimed that he left them in there with the windows rolled down. But the one was dead in the carrier, and I think the other one died later at the vet's. So, and then there is a Michelle Godwin in Livingston. I don't know too much other than she's been charged with 9 counts of torture. I just happened to run across it looking for somebody else's court case, and there were 9 dead dogs on her property. So,
I had a question. This brings up two things that pop in my head real quick. Uh,
uh-huh.
Hold on, I'm writing this down. Um, First one is our guy, David Howery, is September 30th in
Yes.
the Kraken. They have stacked his felonies up to, you can stack up to four of them. He's facing 20 years in
Yes.
prison. First thing that popped in my mind is this Michelle Goodwin or Godwin. Um, she's being charged with nine
Yeah.
counts because they found 9 dead dogs on her property. Then they should
Hopefully we can get them to stack them. Yeah.
stack those two, and that was Livingston County.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The next one was a conversation I had with. I don't. I don't think. I shouldn't. I like to get permission. Someone who's very connected with the law and things going on in Kentucky, who said, "It seems like now that the torture law is passed, since Ethan's law is passed, we're hearing more about cases."
Uh-huh.
And she was asking my opinion on why that is. And so this was my opinion on why that is. Before, there was no even uh, possibility that there was a felony being charged.
Right.
So
Right.
in a lot of cases, even the worst situations that were misdemeanors because there was second degree animal cruelty were easily gotten rid of, or maybe
Yes.
if they had a lot of them, dropped to one of them.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're hearing about so many of the cases because a lot of them are being charged as felonies, and the
Correct.
ones that are being charged as that maybe should be charged as felonies, but it's right on the fringe, and they're charging them with second degree animal abuse. Those are
Uh-huh.
ones that might not have been charged at all.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I think now that you're seeing so much more of it because there's something there now there's an
Yeah.
extra step there.
Yeah. It always existed. It just wasn't brought to the forefront because there was no, Ethan's law, like you said, didn't exist.
There was a
So,
thought of this isn't going to,
yeah. Yeah.
now there's a
Well,
thought of,
you talk
now,
about David Howery. I mean, how many years that man, David Howery, was charged and charged and charged and been committing all these crimes. And nobody heard of it. It was just misdemeanors and away it went. So, yeah, Ethan's law
yes,
is
you
making
didn't hear about
huge,
that dude, and he had hundreds of them.
oh, hundreds, multiple times.
Now I think it's even to the point where I think some folks even think, not that this is right, we'll charge this person with felony because it falls into the statute, knowing that we'll drop it down to misdemeanor, we'll get the conviction for the misdemeanor, and we'll kind of move on. So I think that's why we're seeing so many of them, which uh,
Yeah.
you you don't want the animal abuse at all, but if it's happening, you want to know about it.
We want it, yes. We want it charged and we want them in court. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so there's a couple, two new ones to keep an eye on. Travis Wheeler out of Boyle County, Michelle
Uh-huh.
Godwin out of Livingston County. We talked about David Snyder out of Muir County was sentenced to 5 years. Uh,
Yes.
Ethan's Law, torture statute. He was the guy that he had several dogs. He decided one of them was sick or didn't want it or whatever reason. No one really knows because he didn't say
Yeah.
anything. He put it
Hmm.
up on the second floor of his house and just stopped taking care of it. Didn't feed
Yeah,
it.
that was the Clint Eastwood was what he was renamed. And the
Clinic.
pictures of that dog were horrific. I mean, that
Yeah.
dog was in the condition that Ethan was in. I mean, he was
Um,
that emaciated. It was
let's see.
horrific.
Two updates before we get into a couple other things. Um, Shoot, that's the results of the contest. One is I do want to point a particular case out that Tara has been following
Okay.
of the
Right.
person in that worked for LMAS,
Oh,
Catherine Laird, Katie Laird,
layered. Uh-huh.
had so there were the story sort of came about because there was a stray dog. LMAS picked it up. They did a microchip. It came back to a rescue. Pearl's Paws, I think is the name of it. Uh, that person said, "Wait a minute, Debbie's gone." That person said, "Hey, I adopted that dog out a while back with a second dog." Uh, and this dog that was brought to LMAS. The stray dog was in terrible shape, matted, had some sores, needed dental work, was in awful shape.
Sorry, I don't know what
Uh,
it was doing.
uh, and so they called this lady in because she owned the rescue, and her name was associated with the microchip, and she said, well, that's not even my dog. I
Yeah.
adopted that dog out, and not only did I adopt that dog out, I adopted that dog out to your employee.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
then LMAS kind of said, okay, well, wait a minute, what do we need to do here? They have confiscated uh, both dogs. She was probably one of those situations where you were either asked to resign or quit. So she no longer works for LMAS. She's been cited with some Jefferson County ordinances. Um, I guess the most troubling thing is the latest news is sort of that she had adopted some dogs from a different rescue that are unaccounted for right now. I know
Oh,
she
wow.
has. I know she has a scheduled date in Jefferson County Court for these ordinances on Friday. Um, uh, so there's sort of a lot happening there. The dogs are getting the medical care that they need, so the dogs will be okay. They're getting the medical care that they need. Um, but
Mm.
it's a situation where you just never know.
Right.
Uh, I will say, that it's a tough one because we do so many things with different folks. Uh,
Yeah. I
Friday,
know.
1 p.m., Hall of Justice, Room 303. Tar says, I will say this: kudos to LMAS for uh, making the decision. This isn't an employee that we want doing these kind of things, working with animals. So uh,
Yeah.
you just, I guess the way I look at it is the person that they found through the microchip that owned the rescue, the things that she got cited for, this other person should be cited for because those exact things, because
Right.
they were her animals. So we'll keep an eye on that. That is Friday, 1 p.m. Hall of Justice. And then the other one is this Rockcastle County thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
Mhm.
the apparently the state police have finished their investigation. I'm not quite sure that anything uh, is going to come from that. Um, there was so I'll just read this.
Oh,
There was an
yes.
article. So there was an investigation by the state police. People know there were all these allegations. There were pictures. There were all this evidence coming out of Rockcastle County that the animals were being euthanized. They weren't being taken care of. All that stuff, which is probably uh, allegedly, but you look at the evidence, and a lot of that could be true. So last week there was an article in the paper, the local paper,
Mhm.
that said members of the Rockcastle County Fiscal Court held their regular monthly meeting last week with a full agenda. Officials said they expected to hear from citizens concerning the recent investigation at the local animal shelter, but no one showed up to discuss the issue. The court heard the animal shelter report and discussed the recent investigation. Judge Executive Hal Holbrook Jr. said the annual investigation
Will not turn
annual
up.
investigation. That doesn't sound right. That's what it
No,
says.
that
Is
you
currently
annually
underway,
to
and
investigate, that might be a problem.
officials expected the results of the investigation sometime this week. Members discuss other shelters in surrounding counties and their policies as compared to Rockcastle. Holbrook said investigators have told him the investigation thus far has not found any serious violations, and the report is expected to reflect those results. Also, an investigation by the Kentucky State Police following recent allegations has not reported any negative findings. So I have two things to say about that, and people can get mad at me, or they don't have to get mad at me. The animals are the ones that are suffering.
Exactly.
But if I'm asking, like the people of Rockcastle County, like
You've got to
you
step
got to
up.
step up. Like
Yeah.
if no offense, the judge executive, the county council, this meeting that happened the other night with the, I want to make sure I get the name of this right, the fiscal court,
Mhm.
they don't care. Uh, they don't care whether someone from out of state or someone from out of county is upset with what they're doing. Uh,
Exactly.
the we need the folks of Rockcastle County to step up to say this is not acceptable, and then you bring in the people from the outside to support that. You bring
Uh-huh.
in the folks that we could come in. You bring in. I know there's some folks that really follow this case out of Ohio and out of Frankfurt. You bring those people in to support the people of Rockcastle County.
But yeah,
Uh,
it's all about, unfortunately, elections and being in office. So you have to fill that room with voters that are concerned, and they're going to do something if this is not, the situation
and
is.
and I know that they didn't send out an agenda and an invite. I understand that, but from what I was told, and, and just telling you what I was told, this was a scheduled meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a scheduled meeting. Like like the public, it's just public. I mean, how
Yes.
take the shelter out of it? How often would you hear about who's going to post about them? It's just a scheduled meeting.
Yes.
Like they're not going to go out of their way to post about it. Um,
Yeah. So
you just and again, the folks at Rockcastle, those are the ones that got to show up, and they have to be the ones to determine uh,
if this is acceptable and
is it
what's going.
acceptable. And if
Mm-hmm.
it's not acceptable, then you have the power of the vote to
Mm-hmm.
vote these people out.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what you got to do. So
And
we've
there'll
gone.
be another meeting. There's another. Find out when the next meeting is. Organize. Get people there.
Yeah.
I mean, it will make a difference if you feel. I've done that in small counties. You go in those rooms and you sit there, and they will allow people to speak. So I mean, that's where it has to begin, in my opinion, too. They've got to go in there. So.
It ultimately comes down to the people that can make the change
Uh-huh.
are the people that are right there.
That live
Uh,
there.
I,
Yes.
as an outsider who's invested in it and invested in what happens to those animals, I want to support that. But if I mean, just as an example, let's say no one shows up to the meeting but Jeff and Ethan and Debbie,
That-
because I know you
yeah.
would go. We show up to the meeting and and you know they
They
don't
don't
care.
care. No.
I'm not. I can't vote for either one of them. I can't vote for any of those people.
No.
They don't
No.
care.
No.
But if you get 25 people from Rockcastle County in
Mm-hmm.
there, and then you have us, you have some other groups from around Kentucky that show up to support to say, hey, we've got these people's backs, then you got something.
Right.
All right. So we've been going for a long time. A couple really quick things. We have the Hero Dog Awards results will
Yeah.
come out the first week of October sometime. They had first mentioned October the 4th. I've been told that that could change here or there a little bit depending upon uh, the way that they're going to announce it. They're looking for like the biggest bang that they can announce it, whether that's the
Sure.
Today Show, Good Morning America, whoever that says.
Wherever will
Uh,
take them. Yeah.
so keep an eye out for the Hero Dog Awards. I really am hoping that the winner of each category we can bring on
Yeah.
once again to talk about their story and how cool it was to not only win, but whatever this announcement is, I'm sure American Humane will make a big shebang about. So that'll be
Yeah.
really cool. They'll take them
Yeah.
somewhere like New York or do whatever. So that'll be really cool. Um, this Friday and Saturday, we will be at KVMA conference in Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
So stop by our booth, buy some cool stuff, talk to us about the law, talk to us about Kentucky, uh, whatever you want to talk about. We'll be there. Take some pictures. We're just there to have a good time. We'll be there all day Friday, probably Saturday till about noon. But stop by Lexington there if you're anywhere close to the KVMA conference. It's at that Civic
Civic
Center
Center. I was going to say right next to Rupp.
right next to Rep Arena. Yep.
Yeah.
Car show.
It,
There's a car show October the 19th at the Clarksville Sports Drome Speedway.
yeah.
If you're in the Louisville, Southern Indiana, you know where the Sports Drome is. It's right next to the Concrete Lady. It's right off
I
the
know the
way.
concrete lady's the landmark.
Come to the car show. It
Yeah.
is to enter your car. It's $20.
I know.
I mean, $20.
Yeah.
Bring your car down, even if you don't have a hot rod. If you got a 2015 Ford Escape, bring it down there. Pay $20. Get
And
in the
put your
car
car
show.
in.
it's going to
Yeah.
benefit Ethan Almighty's blessings. We'll have some kind of entertainment. There'll be food there. We're going to try and get some vendors there. We'll have a bunch of Ethan stuff to sell. It'll be a good time. The cars are going to be like out on the track.
Right.
So it's going to be a really cool event.
And
Come and
Jeff,
check it out.
yeah, I was going to say Jeff has worked really on a lot of different art pieces and all kinds of Ethan things. So, yeah, there'll be some really cool stuff there to buy too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have some really cool things. It'll be a lot of fun. Uh, what else? I was going to mention, had a really good time yesterday afternoon after court at the
Oh yeah, the
Archdiocese
art.
of Louisville, talking with some folks there in their counseling department, I believe. But talked for a long time about Ethan, told his whole story, and we had a really good conversation about um, that link between animal abuse and domestic violence, child abuse, and
Yeah.
how that's created and how the cycle continues. And
Mhm.
it was really good stuff. We're interested in doing that again. Um, I think that is any updates. I think that's all I've got on my list.
Yeah, I think that's all. You might want to let people know when you're going to draw for your.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm going to do that probably tomorrow night. We'll do
Okay.
the.
Yeah, your artwork. Yeah.
I've been working on quite a few cool little artwork things, but this one is the one we're going to do next. I'll do that drawing tomorrow night online.
Right.
If you come to the car show, we're going to
Yeah, those
for sure
hubcaps.
going to do this hubcap that I was working on.
They are gorgeous.
It's got the color morphing stuff
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. The
Sure.
finish on them is beautiful. You did a wonderful job. They're gorgeous.
That one and probably uh, this gold one.
Yeah. Now you do know gold's my color, so hey, yeah, I may have to. Are you going to raffle that one at the car? You don't know which ones you're taking yet, do you?
Probably those two. We'll
Oh, okay.
be
Okay,
available.
great.
We'll have a bunch of other artwork available.
Yes.
So,
And a
uh,
lot of smaller things for people that are looking for smaller, if you don't have maybe a full wall or something. Jeff has done a whole lot of smaller pieces too.
yeah, I've
So,
got some really cool little 5x7, 4x6
yeah.
little paw prints with some different things on there.
You got a lot.
Some fall stuff, some Halloween stuff.
We'll have t-shirts.
A lot of t-shirts. We'll have Ethan t-shirts. We'll have car show t-shirts.
Yeah.
So it should be a good
Gonna be
time. Come
fun.
on out. It benefits Ethan Almighty's blessings. We get emails probably every day about it. I don't. This is where I fail. I need to do a much better job of telling these stories because the very cool things that I hear and that our board hears, I need to get out there more. We help animals every day. I need to get those stories out there. But we have done spay and neuter for. Between I'd have to look at it. I mean, between 250, 300 animals. We've helped
Right.
another 200 animals, just 200, 250 animals on the side. Over $90,000 of helping the community
Yeah.
with animals, and that is anywhere from an expensive surgery to vaccines
Uh-huh.
to uh, I don't want to end on a bad note, but just yesterday, two folks that had to have their pets or needed to have their pets euthanized because they were suffering. They're much older pets. Um, we just
Yeah.
want to help out, and so we do. We want to do everything we can. I'll do a better job of getting those stories out there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get off here without wishing happy birthday to
Yeah.
Elvis, who is 3, and a
Yes.
wonderful happy birthday to my beautiful, amazing wife. We're not going to say her age, but it's right around 21,
Oh, she's so young.
22, right around that 21, 22. She was just,
Yeah.
just, yeah. Although that doesn't sound, well, never mind. Happy
There it is.
birthday to everyone. So we will get back with you guys. We've got if you're anywhere if you're in Lexington, come out to the KVMA concert conference. I guess you can't get in unless you have unless you have a badge. We got a ton of stuff to sell if anybody wants to buy. If anybody wants to buy.
We'll meet him at the door.
Yeah,
Give
just
us
call us. We'll meet you at the door.
call us.
I'll tell
We'll
you
meet.
we'll tell you we're taking Ethan out to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Anyway,
there you go.
Thank you for joining me. Thanks
You.
everybody for joining me.
Yeah,
Debbie,
definitely.
thank you so much for doing such a wonderful job of calling and keeping up with all these cases. It's not easy. It's not fun, but you do a wonderful job of keeping track of everything. So I appreciate that.
Thanks. You
All right,
make
everybody,
any.
have a wonderful day today.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.